guys, I'm Kelly and this is part 2 of my intermittent fasting video. And so if you haven't checked out part 1, go ahead and go back and do that, because in that video I talked about what is intermittent fasting, the different intermittent fasting protocols, and also what my personal intermittent fasting schedule is. So in this video I'm going to talk about the physical health benefits of intermittent fasting and also just what to eat during your eating window. And I know in my first video I had said that in this video I was going to touch on the spiritual benefits of fasting, and I did decide to go ahead and break that up into a separate video to be filmed at a future date because fasting for physical health benefits and fasting for spirituality purposes are just two completely entirely different things, and they just need to be separated. So again, I'm not an expert in this field, so I'm just sharing my personal experience with intermittent fasting over the last 5 months, and you can just simply use this as a starting point for your own research if this is something you're interested in doing yourself. So before I talk about the physical health benefits, I wanted to give you guys a brief background on the 2 stages of metabolism so that you can maybe understand a little bit more of what I'm talking about. The first stage is the catabolic stage, which is where we're breaking down the molecules in our food and using them for energy. So this would be like our eating and digesting phase of metabolism. And then your second phase is the anabolic stage, where you are taking that energy and you are using it to build and recycle your cells and your tissues. So can our bodies be in an anabolic state and a catabolic state at the same time? Absolutely, we're multitaskers, we can do that. However, our bodies cannot be in an anabolic state as efficiently as it possibly could be if we are also in a catabolic state and we are forcing our bodies to eat and digest food constantly and always be in a catabolic state as well. So we can be much more efficient at building, repairing, detoxifying if we give our bodies a bit of a break sometimes from the catabolic stage, and that's where intermittent fasting can come in handy. So now for some of the physical health benefits. One thing that it can do is it can decrease your food cravings, particularly for sugar, and that has been one of my experiences as well. It can increase your insulin sensitivity and lower your insulin levels, thereby helping you maintain tighter control over your blood glucose levels. It stimulates lipolysis, which is the breakdown of fats and fatty acids for energy, instead of just being glucose burners all the time. When we're constantly in a fed state, we can switch our body into a state of ketosis and teach our bodies to burn fat for energy as well. And this can lead to decreased body fat. Some people get into intermittent fasting simply as a tool to lose weight. So it can be very helpful for that. It can help increase your growth hormone levels, which is very beneficial for people in the fitness world that are using intermittent fasting to increase their levels of fitness at the same time as decreasing their body fat, because many diets can be muscle wasting, and intermittent fasting, especially if you're fasting for the 16 and 8 protocol or the lean gains protocol, it can help you the very least maintain and also build your muscle mass if that's what you're looking to do. So it can help with memory, concentration, and the prevention of neurodegeneration. You guys, the research coming out on the connection between intermittent fasting and neurodegeneration prevention is extremely fascinating, and I would love to do some separate videos for you guys sometime to share some of that information with you, because it's really cool. I know that intermittent fasting was one tool that I used to eliminate my brain fog, and I feel very clear-headed when I fast. I have an overall sense of well-being, and sometimes I just don't want to break my fast yet at 16 hours because I'm not quite hungry yet, and I feel good, and you know, those are the days when I push it closer to the 18-hour mark. Now, if you missed my first video that I posted about my health journey, I talked a lot in that video about inflammation. And you guys, I know I can sound like a broken record sometimes when it comes to inflammation, but the main reason that I got into intermittent fasting is for its effects on decreasing inflammation. And it can also lower the risk of chronic illnesses, because you guys, anytime you are decreasing your inflammation, you are by default lowering your risk for chronic illness. Another health benefit is that it reduces oxidative stress and increases mitochondrial efficiency. It decreases the amount of your free radical production. If there's one thing that I talk about more than mitochondria, or more than inflammation, it is mitochondria. The mitochondria keep me awake at night. Thinking about the mitochondria. Sometimes I dream about the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain. Stop making fun of me. It is fascinating, you guys. I read books on on mitochondria, and I am telling you, if you are taking active steps to reduce your inflammation and to mind your mitochondria, then you will have vibrant health. Another health benefit is that it increases the rate of autophagy. Now, autophagy is our cellular self-cleaning process. It's how our cells break down damaged molecules and cellular organelles. And what's really interesting is that autophagy really slows down when we are in a fed state and when our insulin levels are high, and autophagy really speeds up when we are in a fasted state and our insulin levels are low. Intermittent fasting can also have an anti-aging effect due to its effects on autophagy and on oxidative stress. So who doesn't want that? Now, what is kind of the sweet spot for how many consecutive hours do you need to fast to start reaping some health benefits? And it sounds like 16 hours is the bare minimum that you would need to fast to start getting some health benefits from intermittent fasting. And there is still, some debate and some differing information about this, but some experts I've seen say that you won't start reaping the maximum health benefits until you're fasting closer to the 18 to 20 hour window, especially when it comes to optimal insulin levels. But 16 hours, you definitely still are reaping some benefits of fasting. Like I said in my first video, I do a 16 and 8 protocol. I fast most days for 16 hours. I do fast every single day of the week. Yesterday I fasted for 18 hours. I do some days push it to 18 hours if I, if I intuitively can do that. I do listen to my body. Today I broke my fast at 16 hours because I was hungry and I was ready to eat. I had just got done with a workout and I needed to break my fast, so I did that at 16 hours. But I do make it a personal goal to try to get closer to the 18-hour mark as long as my body is tolerating my fast just fine. The longest I've ever fasted is 20 hours. So, enough about fasting. What should you eat during your eating window? Again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not here to tell you what diet is best for you to follow, but I will tell you what I personally follow based on my own research and also based on the recommendations of my functional medicine doctor and my clinical nutritionist. I follow an anti-inflammatory paleo-based diet. So what that means is that I eat mostly organic vegetables, some grass-fed local meats, fruit, healthy traditional fats like coconut oil, lard. I used to eat butter before I became sensitive to dairy, extra virgin olive oil, avocado. I do eat some seeds and nuts. I do try to soak or sprout the nuts before I eat them, and I do eat some beans and legumes as well. I keep grains to very minimum, and when I do, it's like brown rice, millet, quinoa, things like that. But whatever diet you do choose, what I do want you to focus on during your eating window is nourishing your body, choosing whole, healthy foods in their natural state. Now, a lot of women complain sometimes that intermittent fasting can mess with their hormones. And what I have seen in those situations is that a lot of those women simply are not eating enough. They are not nourishing their bodies during their eating window. They might break their fast with some fruit and then have, some grilled chicken on iceberg lettuce for a meal and then start their fast all over again. you guys definitely need to focus on getting enough calories. Intermittent fasting is not an excuse to splurge and to eat whatever you want. You still need to eat a healthy diet in moderation, but you need to focus on nourishing your body, giving it what it needs during your fast, or during your eating window, and also getting enough calories in it. If you are fasting to lose weight, then you can still definitely eat to a calorie deficit, but within reason, eat at a healthy calorie deficit. You need to focus on staying very hydrated during your fasting period. There's no need to fast from water. You can have herbal tea. Some people do have a little bit of black coffee during their fasting period. I do not drink coffee or any form of caffeine, so I choose water and herbal tea during that time period. I personally do not count calories during my eating window. That just never lasts long for me. If you are a calorie counter, a macro counter, that's great. Do that. I choose to eat more intuitively. I stop eating when I'm full, and I just am more in tune with my body now over these last few months, so I'm able to do that. Now, you guys don't think that intermittent fasting is an all or none type of thing. Don't think that if you are having a bad fast day and you cannot make it to those 16 hours, if you feel shaky, if you feel weak, if you are starving, guys, just break your fast early. It's okay. You will not ruin anything. You will not ruin your body in any way if you are fasting 5 days a week instead of 7. If you want to just make it your goal to fast 1 day a week for 16 hours, then do that and slowly increase. And slowly increase your fasting times. If you need to break your fast early one day, you're not going to ruin anything. Just try again the next day. It's going to be okay. I think that is, and when you break your fast, don't shock your body right away by just eating plain carbohydrates. Make sure you include some healthy fats and proteins, particularly when you are breaking your fast with your first meal or snack of the day. So I think that's all that I have to say about intermittent fasting for now. If you guys have any other questions, want any other videos on this topic, or just a quick question answered, definitely leave them in the comments below the video. And thanks for listening, guys.